This is Morocco in Northern Africa, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's got everything. It's got beaches, cities, everything that reminds me of just how amazing planet Earth is. So as a car journalist, sometimes I feel like I'm responsible for destroying it slowly, driving around, spitting CO2 everywhere. But the world's going to hell in a handbasket anyway, right? In for a penny, in for a pound. If I'm gonna destroy the planet, I might as well do it in style in the 2013 Range Rover, a car that, on the face of it, has no place in society. Not in cities, not near our schools, and definitely not anywhere as beautiful as Morocco. It's big, heavy, aggressive. It's the poster child for destruction. It's everything that those hippies from Greenpeace and all those other activists. Camera guys are at either end of this river. I've just come across here and I've taken out 2 bollards.
That's concrete and a metal post holding it in place.
Completely bent it. The only damage that's done to the new Range Rover so far that we've seen is this plate here. That's incredibly embarrassing and incredible. Earlier, when I said cars like the Range Rover were destroying the planet, that was a metaphor. But as you can see, this is actually the truth. It was Morocco versus Range Rover, and Morocco lost. Why? Well, it's all because of the stuff this car is made of. The reason it survived that particular impact is because this is the first SUV ever to be made almost entirely from aluminium. And that means it's incredibly strong, but also incredibly light. Now, you might think aluminium's a bit flimsy, but that's just not the case. The reason it lived is because Land Rover's fitted something called an aluminium bunny bar. It's an aluminium bar across the bottom that's designed to deflect the car away from hard impacts. By using aluminium, they've managed to make this car weigh 420 kilos less than the outgoing model. I put that into context. It's the weight of around 4 or 5 fully grown passengers. And you can really feel the effect as well. The car's more nimble, it's agile, and it's faster. The new 3-litre V6, well, that's just as fast as the outgoing 5-litre V8. It will do 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds and keep going until it hits 130 miles per hour. And the fuel consumption and emissions, bloody good. Yeah, it's big and it's a 4x4, but it'll still do 37 miles per gallon, and CO2 is just 169 grams per kilometre. Let me put that into context for you. A Ford Mondeo with a smaller engine might only give you 35 miles per gallon and 184 grams per kilometre. One thing that many people don't know about Range Rovers is that they're extremely luxurious. Don't let the rugged looks fool you. This thing is like a limousine inside. This car's actually more luxurious than the previous car because you get double glazed windows, a massive panoramic sunroof, and the leather, it's semi-aniline leather, one of the softest, nicest leathers you'll ever come across. It's made from special cows imported from Scandinavia. They can't use British cows because these cows have to be kept in a special enclosure housed by electric fences, not barbed wire, because the barbed wire can damage the cow's skin, damaging the leather. This is big pimping on every level. There's absolutely no question that these new tweaks have made this a much better car on the road. But what I want to know is, does it still do the business off-road? The simple answer to that question is, don't ask stupid questions. The previous car was awesome off-road, and this is even better. The reduced weight means it floats like a butterfly over soft sand, and if you get stuck, you're a fool. The added responsiveness you get on the road can also be felt when you're away from tarmac. You can plow on at speed and react quickly to the changing terrain. You can dodge dunes, avoid rocks, sail around quicksand. You can now wade through rivers as high as 900 millimeters. Just remember to keep your wipers on or you'll crash. And it has improved approach and departure angles, so you can sail up or down incredibly steep hills. What stands out for me though is this car's uncanny ability to make the most hostile of terrain seem like a walk in the park. During my testing, I drove up the Atlas Mountains, and all the time, I felt like I was driving up Primrose Hill. The thing about going up mountains is that it can be quite uncivilized. If your car can get up the mountain in the first place, there's a lot of jerking around and discomfort and noise and aggression. But so far, so very good going up these peaks. I mean, I've left the car in auto mode, I put it in low range, and I'm just basically letting the Range Rover do its thing. It does its thing with computers. The new Range Rover comes with a system called Terrain Response 2. With the original Terrain Response, the driver had to use a knob on the center console to tell the car whether it was being driven on normal roads, grass, gravel and snow, mud and ruts, or sand. With Terrain Response 2, you don't have to tell it anything, it just gets on with it. It uses a range of sensors to detect how fast each wheel is going, how much they're slipping, where you are in the world, and even your altitude to determine what kind of road you're going up or down. I've noticed another thing about this car, and that is the hill descent control. Now that's a system that automatically brakes the car for you when you're going down steep hills. On the old version, it was quite aggressive. You could hear the brakes repeatedly locking up as they try to haul the car back. But in this, they've got 6-pot calipers on the new Range Rover, and it's almost imperceptible. You can't hear the brakes working. You can kind of feel them. You know, it slows you down a little bit more aggressively from time to time, but that's completely normal. That's what you get if you were braking yourself anyway. But the hill descent control is so smooth, it's silky. Brilliant. This whole car is brilliant. The 2013 version is significantly better than the previous model. It's a better off-roader, and the luxury levels are now off the scale. Its aluminium structure means it's lighter, so it's faster, cheaper to run, and kinder to the environment. It's easy to have a few lingering doubts about whether this kind of car has any place in society. And no, it's not as clean as your average family hatchback. Yes, it's big, and yes, people might hate you for driving it. But the world can go to hell in a handbasket. Me, I'm going there in a 2013 Range Rover.